Okay, so today for this Wednesday's Courageous Conversations, we're going to talk about letting go of what you can't control, what it looks like, some different tips on how to do it. And I will need some, hopefully you guys will be able to come in and answer some questions and all of that. But anywho, what we're going to talk about is what are you carrying? Like right now, what's on your back? Y'all got a backpack on your back, or you got a whole suitcase on your back? What are we carrying? I want you to think about one person, one situation, or one outcome that you've spent too much energy trying to control. Take a moment and think about it. And I want to make note that sometimes we confuse caring with controlling, but I'll get into that in a moment. So if you've thought about this particular situation that you've spent too much time trying to control, you can write it down and try to remember it because it'll come up later. Um, so you can love someone without controlling their choices. You can support someone without trying to rescue them. You can give advice without forcing someone to take it. Advice is just that. You give it, you walk away, keep moving, unless they have questions, right? You can pray for someone without trying to be that superior or that God for them. When you control what you are attempting to manage, um, that's a problem. Most times that's connected to our anxiety. You feel very anxious on the inside, so you want to control something in order to make your anxiety go down. But we're not gonna have to do that after today, okay? So I want you to ask yourself these questions. What happens on the inside when things don't go the way that it went in your head? Meaning, you walked into this situation or you have this person and you have this idea of what's supposed to happen. But when it doesn't turn out that way, what happens on the inside? Do you get anxious? Do you get angry? Are you disappointed? What happens? Do you end up over explaining in this situation? Do you try to rescue something or someone? Do you try to fix it? We all know what the fixer is. That's that codependency. Or do you just withdraw, period? I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to give you the silent treatment. I'm not dealing with it because it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So right now, I want to talk about what is actually in my control. I think we lost someone, but maybe they'll be able to click back on in just a moment. Um, what is actually in my control? So I want you to make this list. You can draw 3 circles or make 3 columns so that you can write down the things that are under your control. We're going to talk about the things that you can influence and also the things that you cannot control. Okay, they're back. So we're going to have 3 columns. One column is going to be the things that I can control, the things that I can influence, and also the things that I cannot control. Okay. So the things that we can control are my choices, my words, my reactions, my boundaries, who I give access to me, whether I engage with someone or something, how I spend my time. I control whether I ask for help, and I control my recovery and my healing. Okay, so I'm gonna go over that one more time. I control my choices, my words, my reactions, my boundaries, who I give access to me, whether I engage in something, place myself in that, right? How I spend my time, whether I ask for help, and I control my recovery and my healing. Okay. So that's the things that you control. Now we're going to talk about the things that you influence. Okay. You influence how you communicate. You influence the example that you set for others, whether you offer support. That makes me think about something in my own life. How I respond to someone's behavior and the environment that I create. So you influence those things, whether it's in communication, by being the example, offering support, your behavior, and your environment. So remember that you are influencing, but you're not controlling. That's the difference. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that you cannot control, someone else's choices, someone else's recovery, someone else's feelings, someone else's thoughts, whether someone understands me. You don't have any control over that. Whether someone likes me, you cannot control the past. It's already gone. You cannot control other people's consequences. Ah, that's so good. Whew. And you cannot control the outcome of every situation. So, again, someone else's choices, recovery, feelings, thoughts, whether someone understands the words coming out of your mouth, whether they understand why you move the way you move, you can't control that. Whether someone likes you can't control the past. Move on. You can't control other people's consequences, nor the outcome of every situation. Okay? So, I want you to remember that if it's connected to someone else's choices, it does not belong on your control list. They control it. It's not up to you. Okay? So, how can you identify when you're trying to control someone or something? Okay, this is what it looks like. This is where the paper and pen comes from again, all right? Because I know somebody said that they got it up in here, but we're going to see. We're going to see. All right. Rescuing. I'll fix it so they don't have to deal with the consequences. Trying to control. All right. Over explaining. If I could just explain it to you one more time, then finally you'll understand. No, you won't. Mm-mm. Maybe they will, but maybe they won't. But you can't control it either way. Then you do this checking. Well, where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? When will you be home? How long you been there? You can't control and be checking. If you're checking in on people all the time, that's controlling. Can't control that stuff. Okay. People pleasing. If I can keep everyone happy, then nothing will go wrong. That's controlling. Trying to figure out, if I do this, then they'll do this. If I do this, then they'll act like this. Okay. Manipulation. Ooh, I used to raise my hand on that. Manipulation. If I make them feel guilty, they'll do what I want. Or do in my example, right? They'll do what I feel as though is best because I was the fixer, had all the answers. Thought I did anyway. I didn't. It was controlling. So manipulation. I'm gonna make you feel guilty to get you to navigate and move the way I want you to move. It's not right. You're controlling. Fixing. I know what they need. So I'm just gonna make them do it. Seems pretty simple, right? I know what you need. I just make you do it. Controlling. Hypervigilance. I have to stay alert because if something happens, who's gonna be there to fix it? I am. That's controlling. Go to bed, mind your business, do what you do. People are gonna live their lives and do what they do, right? Free yourself. So when those things come up, if any of these things come up, if something happens and you're like, oh, I'm just wondering if I'm controlling or like, what am I doing? All you have to do is ask yourself, is this my responsibility? Does this have to do with me? Does it have to do with the things that was on that list of the things that I can control? So if it has to do with somebody else, especially grown children, because we think, oh, they are kids. They grown. Sometimes you got to let them go through their own and do what they do because it's their choice to do what they want to do. Okay. So let's take the control test. Y'all ready? Okay. Before stepping into someone else's situation, this is what I want you to ask yourself. Is it actually my responsibility? Did they ask me for help? Did they really? Can I change the outcome? What happens if I don't intervene? What would taking care of myself look like instead of this? Okay. So there is this beautiful uh, pause that's called stop. The S is for step back so you don't react immediately. T, take a breath. Because a lot of times we want to react because our nervous system is going crazy. Like we're getting anxious and, you can't breathe. So take a breath. Get your nervous system to settle so that you can think. The O is for observe. Is this mine? Should I step in? Am I really going to be the one to make a difference in this? Observe what's going on. And then the P is proceed with a boundary. We love those boundaries. Okay. So now we're going to do the letting go exercise. So I want you to take a piece of paper, divide it into two sections, or two sections. Or if you got it in your brain, just split your brain in half. And think about this and think about that. Okay. So on the left side of the brain, what am I trying to control? Is what I want you to ask yourself. So an example, am I trying to control my adult child's decisions? Am I trying to control somebody else's sobriety? Whether someone apologizes, what people think of me, someone else's behavior. Am I trying to control the past? Or maybe someone else's emotions? You can't feel that way. I ain't done nothing to you. Yes, I sure can. No, you can't. Yes, you can. It's not your emotions. They get to feel what they want to feel. So now that you've got the clarity on the left side of the brain, which is again, am I trying to control my children, adult children, someone's sobriety, whether someone apologizes, what people think about me, someone else's behavior, the past, or someone else's emotions? So now the right side of the brain or your paper, this is what I want you to do instead. I can't control their sobriety because I'm not going to enable, I'm going to set boundaries. So I can't do this, but I can stop enabling and set some boundaries, right? I can't I can't control whether they change, but I can change how I respond. I can't control whether they understand me, but I can communicate clearly and do not over explain. I'm a big over explainer. Yeah, big over explainer. But I'm learning how to say what I say and leave it. As my granddaddy used to say, just leave it. So I can't control whether they understand me, but I can communicate clearly and not over explain. Okay. I can't control their consequences because it's theirs, right? But what I can do is allow them to experience appropriate consequences. You did this, this is the consequence. And I also like to let people know that when I say the word consequence, it doesn't mean it's bad. Like there's good consequences too. If you do something good, basically a consequence is a follow-up. The follow-up is good. So they do good things, you get good consequences. So you ain't trying to take nobody's joy, but you also not trying to take that burden off of them either, right? So they have to deal with their appropriate consequences, and you need to allow that. You cannot control the past, but you can decide what to do with today. Did you make the right choices in your eating? Did you make the right choices in drinking your water today? Did you make the right choices in going to exercise? Did you make the right choice by being kind to someone in the parking lot? Did you make the right choice and not leave that buggy in the middle of the parking lot, but actually took it to the wreck? Right? It's small choices every day, right? You can't worry about what you did yesterday, but you can make sure that you do the right thing and what you should do for you today. Okay? All right. So I want you to ask yourself, would it be possible in your life if you stopped spending energy trying to control blank? What is your blank? Would it be possible for me to stop spending blank, well, this amount of energy trying to control this? This is the other thing about controlling something. Like I said, that's your anxiety and all these things working. Well, when you get absorbed, I'll say, in this thing, you think about it all day. It like it's dancing in your head for free. It's just living there for free all day because you haven't decided, oh, I can't control that. So this is what I can control, and I'm going to let that go, right? So what is that thing that's got free real estate in your brain that you need to let go? Think about that thing, write that thing down so you can say, oh, I can't control this, but this is what I can do, right? Okay. So releasing is not giving up, right? Letting go does not mean you don't care, that you approve that, the behavior. It doesn't mean that you've abandoned them, that you stop loving them, that you stop having boundaries. Okay. It doesn't mean that you stop praying. It doesn't mean that you stop supporting their recovery or whatever it is. That's not what letting go means. Okay. But let's talk about what letting go does mean. Letting go means I release my responsibility for the choices that were never mine to make. Y'all hear that? I release my responsibility for the choices that were never mine to make. That's what you can do. You can love someone and still say no. You can support someone and still let them face their consequences because it's theirs. It's a part of their growth. You can hope for someone to change and not make them your life's assignment, right? It's their choice. It's the things that they need to do. But it doesn't mean that they're on your mind all day, every day, because you got to have a flashlight on you. How you going to have it on you and them? They over there. It don't work. Even if it's in the middle, it's not on either one of y'all. So then it's really bad. So you got to have that flashlight here, right? Because if it's there, you in the dark. You're not doing what you need to do. So keep that flashlight on you, right? Their flashlight will be on them. They're going to shine bright, but just with their own flashlight, right? Okay. So I want everybody to think about this. Today, I will let go of blank because it's not mine to control. What is mine to control is blank. Today, I am willing to let go of blank because it's not mine to control. It's not mine to have. Somebody threw it to me and I was supposed to hit it back, and I grabbed it and put it in my pocket. Take it out your pocket and throw it back over there. It's not yours. Lighten that load. Get those shoulders light again, right? We get real heavy dealing with other people's stuff. And then it's bad because then you can't love yourself. Too busy. Wrapped up in somebody else's stuff. Okay? So the last thought that I have for today is sometimes peace doesn't come with changing the situation. Sometimes peace comes from accepting that the situation was never yours to control. All right. Now, this has been the Learning How Not to Control or What to Control Courageous Conversation. Y'all have any questions?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the last thing that you said, sometimes peace doesn't come from.
Changing the situation. Let me know when you get that down. I'll finish it.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Sometimes peace comes from
Hmm.
accepting that the situation was never yours to control. Wasn't your stuff. Wasn't your stuff. You ain't gonna walk in somebody else's kitchen and eat their chicken or tell them how to cook their food. It wasn't yours to control. Better get out my kitchen trying to cook my chicken. I don't fry my chicken, I bake my chicken. Sometimes peace doesn't come from changing situation. Peace comes from accepting that the situation was never yours to control. That's deep.
That is good.
Talk
Very
about peace
good.
beyond all understanding.
Yes,
What?
yes,
Come on now. That's beautiful.
yes.
Beautiful. I forgot I was recording. I can't say
Yes,
that.
ma'am.